Oh, that's concerning. Hey, wasn't that being keeping the volcano in check? Oh, that's what that was! Oh no! Hey guys! Today we're back with more PowerWash Simulator 2, and we have our good babies here with us yet again. Hello, pretty kitties. Aww. These cats instantly make the entire game 100% better. Alright, so last we left off, I did kind of go through some. I went through and did the stuff from the tutorial again, got the new furniture, and also went ahead and got a little bit of new gear, so we can at least put that on. Didn't have enough for the boots yet. Gonna have to wait a second on that. But at least we've upgraded our look just a little bit. And we have new jobs. So, ooh, that's a weird Aurora Borealis thing in the sky there. I'm kind of curious if there's going to be aliens involved again. Let's see, client. So, this is Trilobite Lodge. Apologies for how filthy it is. I've just got back from a dig in Alaska to find the house looking like this and my other half, Karen, apparently vanished into thin air. It wouldn't be the first time. Whenever she gets a whiff of anything interesting, that's her gone for months. That's kind of concerning, don't you think? Well, I'm not paid to clean up their love life. I am just paid to clean up their homes. And I am curious, can I see what that's leading to at all? No, I want to see the mystery. Let me see the lore. Oh, I slipped through a little bit. Darn it, I can't go past. There's an invisible wall. No. Oh well, maybe we'll get to see more as we clean up. Oh well. Okay, let's see what we're working with here. This is a pretty big one. Huh. Some footprints. Hopefully those are just regular footprints and not the footprints of somebody who is getting dragged away against their will, so hope their partner's okay. Also, is nobody questioning this? Is it like it's like a mixture between a rainbow and a really pretty ray gun. I mean, if your partner saw this, they probably went to go check that out, would be my first guess. Okay. Let's see. I think for this one, I'm gonna start along the bottom and then slowly make my way up from there. So let's see. I'll wait on the soap for now. Now, yellow nozzle. I think I'll start around the side here and work my way to the front. See, yeah, that one to change the distance. Just so that way I get a good overall spray going. Oh, Michelle's messaging us. I probably should have mentioned that the house is directly underneath the. Oh, darn it! I missed what they said. Something about underneath the beam's path. You're just okay with this. You're sure that this thing isn't giving you like brainworms or cancer, anything? Are you sure you're not part of an alien research experiment? You seem pretty calm about it. Of course, you're also kind of calm about your partner disappearing for months on end. No, I'm not over that. That's not an okay thing typically for your partner to disappear for months on end without a word. They could end up dead. Like, yes, give your partner their own space. So that's cool. That's a little bit of an extreme jump to, oh, by the way, I'm just gonna vanish off the face of the earth randomly sometimes, and you've got to be okay with that. I could be freaking out too much, and I'm not even that clingy of a partner. I'm actually kind of bad about keeping in touch, but my partner knows that if if he texts me, I will answer, and vice versa. And we'll get back to each other when we can. If we're not free right away, we don't typically freak out. Like, just disappearing for months on end. No word, no confirmation you're alive. Just, oh, I'm just gonna ghost you for a little bit. I'm worried. I'd be freaking out. I'd be calling people. I'd be wondering if maybe my partner is involved in drugs or crime of some kind for them to disappear like that. Which, I mean, hey, if that's what you gotta do to make ends meet, that's what you gotta do to make ends meet. But still, you want a little, like, check-in once in a while, like a, hey, I'm not dead text or something. Like a 2-minute call just to update on everything that's going on. Something. My gosh. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would any of you be okay with your partner just randomly dipping out for weeks or months at a time without telling you about it first, without giving you any indication of where they were? I'm curious if maybe that's just me, but I feel like that's not a normal or healthy type of partnership. Maybe it works for these guys because they both seem a little bit spacey. It kind of gives me... I'm trying to remember it. There was this show that I watched a really, really long time ago where it was like a horror thriller miniseries. I want to say it was based on something Stephen King related. My brain keeps thinking The Langoliers, but I'm not 100% sure that's right. But it was basically like this it was like this town slowly starts changing. People begin behaving oddly. Some people suddenly get, like, a lot of them suddenly get super, super hyper intelligent and really smart. But they also kind of feel like they're all suddenly working towards a common goal that they don't fully understand. And when other people who weren't there when all this started happening try to get involved and figure it out, they end up getting killed off, or other people in the town end up going missing or getting killed off. And the thing that turns out is that it started out when the people of the town uncovered this kind of like what they thought was a meteorite turned out to be a full-on spaceship, and the big twist had to deal with aliens. Oh, there's Michelle again. Personally, I love the beam's gentle hum, but I don't care into distraction. Actually, maybe that's why she's not here. Yeah, that's not normal. And honestly, if it's making noise or emitting energy that's messing with your head, that would be more valid for your partner to need to leave for long periods of time to be able to stand it. How are you able to stand it? But yeah, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about with that show I was remembering. It was just this little thing of... Oops, wrong one. I keep forgetting it's on cue this time. But yeah, it was like the big plot twist was that what was a meteorite was actually a spaceship, and it had aliens in it that had been laying dormant for years. And they had crashed there, like, centuries ago. And now that they were free, the energy and things that they were emitting were messing with the minds of the townspeople and making them super smart. But it wasn't to, like, help them improve or bring them into the same level of intelligence and technology as the aliens. No, the aliens were basically planning to kill them off and kind of, I don't know if it was feed off of them or harvest them in some way. But yeah, that was the big dramatic twist, was like a, nope, you are cattle who has been raised up to be what they needed you to be, sort of thing. That's the vibe that this whole thing gives me, where you're just suddenly so okay with this. Completely not normal thing to be okay with. I think I'll start from this side now. Oh wow, there's actually glass under here. You know, maybe you should, like, you know, if this is a common enough thing that your partner needs to get away and leave the house like this, which, again, how are these people getting their houses this level of messed up? This is not a normal level of, oh, we let things go for a little bit and it got a tiny bit messy. No. This is, you pissed off a freaking mud demon or a druid or something. Somebody who cursed your house and decided to cake it in mud. Or you were just right next to a swamp and a hurricane blew through here and just completely, like, upheaved all the mud and swamp gunk from next door onto your house. This is not normal, especially in an area like this, where this is a seemingly very clean, pretty, probably well-off, rich neighborhood to be able to have a house like this here, and not to mention the multi-story houses that you can see around here in the neighborhood. This is a normal amount of dirt. Like, one of the things in one of the DLC holiday ones from the previous game was you actually went to a witch's house to clean it, and she talks about how the reason her house got so dirty and all of her decorations were ruined was because of a pair of other witches who didn't like how witches were losing the true spirit of what Halloween was really meant to be and all that. I feel like there's some smudges of dirt here that I'm missing. So yeah, they cast a dirtying and graffiti spell on her house, and that's why it was so dirty. That is something that I could believe. It is sad to say that witches cursing a house to make it dirty and disgusting as part of some plot to make witches remember their true heritage or whatnot. That was more believable to me than half of the, like, oh, well, my house is just randomly this freaking filthy in a nice, pretty suburb. That is my suspension of disbelief at its limit. Trying to just get under the lip here real quick. Okay, there we go. And I'll probably need to hit it from the other side portal to get fully clean, but that's at least a start. And I'm beginning to think maybe I need to switch over to the soap nozzle, because this is getting to the point where it's taken a little while, so I'll probably do that to speed things up a tiny bit. Pet the kitty! Hey, Bubbles! Hey, baby! Any other kitties hiding around here? I thought I saw one earlier. Oh, you are, Ulysses, you big boy. Hey, big boy, how you doing? Okay, I feel better. I was starting to say earlier that I thought I saw another one when I was running around checking out the lay of the land and everything. And I'm happy that I was right. Okay. It's about filled up. So I'll go ahead and just douse all of this. Make it easier to clean all of you later. Go ahead and give the door a good spritz, because I imagine that's going to be a pain to clean. The one thing I find that's a little annoying about the soap mechanic, and again, I'm liking it a lot better than in the first game, but the thing I find a little annoying is that it doesn't just auto-refill while you're using other nozzles. I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity, you know? It's like, oh, it would be logical that since it auto refills anyway once it's empty, it should still be able to do it whether you currently have it plugged in or not. Unless it's like a battery powered soap nozzle. But even then, you would still assume that it would be refilling while you weren't currently using it, you know? That's just me, though. That's how I feel like that should work, but I am not a game developer. My sister Katie is, though. She actually is... She's actually worked towards making her own games. And I've gotten to beta test a couple of them. We've actually have one project that we've been working on together for a bit. And I could probably go to the green one since I got the soap to get through the bulk of that. But yeah, my sister actually is somebody who works towards making her own games. Long process. It takes a while to get anything that you can be truly satisfied with as a developer. And even then, there's always fine-tuning, tweaking, things you have to change before you're satisfied with it fully. But it's cool to watch her process and watch how she figures everything out. Oh, this nice little stained glass window. That's cool. Anything else on here? Nope, you're just treated as part of the door. Cool. There were some times where each individual part of the doorknob is its own thing, so you never know. Yeah, it feels like this method definitely goes a lot faster. Go ahead, back over and hit this side. Oh, dare. Sonny Rich, fancy a shot at the movie business? Our star dog needs a good washing down before tomorrow's shoot. That looks like we get to do another vehicle cleanup. Nice. They're usually a little bit quicker than the full-on buildings. And it's cool to go around and see all the little details that they can fit into the vehicles. Oops, there you go. Fingers got a little bit off the center. Alright. Finish up this last part and then let my soap refill. Okay. Actually, that part of the roof was easier to clean than I thought it would be. I thought we would have to go through and hit it a lot more thoroughly. And yeah, I still like the soap. The soap is very useful. I just wish that it could be a bit quicker. I guess we're waiting for that. Oh, this is nice. They actually put in a ladder to take you straight to the top. That was one thing I found just a little bit frustrating in the first game, was that you kind of had to, just keep running around and around in a circle. Can I make this jump, or do I break every bone in my body? Consequences be damned! Yes, I made it. Okay. I was just kind of curious what all was up here. There's lots of little details, which is something I always appreciate about doing the houses. See, the cars are nice because they're quick, and you can get them done relatively easily. But the fun part about the buildings and houses is just all the little details that they put into here. Whoop! Haha! And on the other side, anything cool over here? Not too much. But still, that's good to know. And down we go. Whoop. There go my ankles. Good thing we are an indestructible automaton of a human being. And no, you cannot convince me that this guy is human after all these jumps and falls that he does. Yes, I am aware that out of universe reason is because fall damage would make the game less fun. In-universe, though, you have to have logical explanations for these things. I did see one theory somebody posted before, or just like an observation, that with how slowly the character, like how slowly he descends after he jumps or falls, that there's a theory out there about him living in a world that has lighter gravity than our own. So that is so maybe that's the reason that there's no fall damage, is because there's just lower gravity here naturally, so people can't kill themselves jumping off of buildings. I wonder then if roller coasters are still fun in this world, because there are amusement parks and things that you can clean up. Especially in the first game, you went to a whole fairground and you kept getting hired back and forth by rivals who own different attractions and were competing with each other in the fair. That was fun. It was cool getting to climb up the different things, the Ferris wheels, let the wheel run while you clean all the different parts of the Ferris wheel, or the giant slide and carousels and all that. That was a cool thing to do, but yeah, you gotta wonder if having lower gravity here means that they would be less fun, or would they be more fun because you could be more extreme with stuff like that? Like, imagine a world where gravity is so light that you could have something like a giant super slide that ends in a much higher drop, because you'll still fall safely to the ground afterwards. That must make it so much harder to break your bones and all that. That's gotta be nice to have. Okay. Anything that I missed over these little parts? Yeah, just little bits, but I can live with that for now. A little bit on the wall here. And switch back over. Oh, yeah. I forgot that this was something that we could do. This is a big lift. Still can really only go as high as our scaffolding there. But it's still kind of cool to see. Kind of curious if we fall off of here, can we get back up? Whoop. Well, I don't see a ladder, so I'm probably going to guess no. I'll at least lower it to there. So that way if we need to, we can just jump up on there and then jump back over. Alright, soap's about done. Whoop. And back to Sudson. I do still wonder chemically what all they have in this soap compound. One that makes it so that it's refillable instead of needing to constantly buy new soap to refill it with. Like, what sort of water activated chemical compound is it where it can just replenish itself automatically like that? But then, two, what is it that is so effective about breaking down all of this grime and dirt and rust? Because in the last game, you needed different soaps for different materials, which makes sense. There's not a lot of cleaners out there that can handle every single material that even in a home. The closest I can think of is 409, which is a cleaning solution that you can use for, especially in a kitchen. It works on a lot of different hard surfaces. But even then, you have to be careful what kinds of surfaces you use it on, because even if it says, like, you can use this on stainless steel, it might still have issues on some versions of it. So you always want to test it in a small area first, just to make sure that it doesn't cause a reaction. Because once you ruin stainless steel, it is really hard to get that look back on it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically with stainless steel coatings, unless they are treated a certain way, you can't just use whatever cleaner you want. You even have to be careful not to leave water sitting on it too long in some cases. Because while it's good at things like let's say, not leaving fingerprints, it'll still do stuff. It'll still react to other stuff, like cleaning chemicals and water, and will basically run away. Oh. Oh. Jesus, where's the beam gone? And I just looked, I didn't even realize that happened. What? Oh, hey, something changed. Oh, that's concerning. Hey, wasn't that beam keeping the volcano in check? Oh, that's what that was! Oh no! That was the beam the aliens fired off in the last game to take care of the volcano. They had us go to a big ancient temple and clean it, and then that activated the beam to stop the volcano from erupting. We might be doomed. Unless they found a better way to do it. Oh, I guess we are gonna get involved with the aliens again this time. Alright. Last of the soap is gone from here. I just see if I can spray away the rest of this. How stubborn is it? Okay, at least on the windows it's not that bad. Honestly, the green nozzle's not too bad here. It still leaves a bit of a mess, but it's not as bad as it was in the last game. On that one, it definitely was more noticeable. So maybe I'll just get the rest of this last little bit of the front here taken care of before I move up to the next level. Well, I was just wondering earlier if we were going to be dealing with aliens and that sort of lore in this game, and it looks like I've got my answer. Definitely gonna have to do something involving them if the beam maintaining the volcano is shut off. Because, you know, kinda don't want to die. It's bad for business. Like, sad as it is to say, I don't think we're gonna get much business if the entire city turns into Pompeii. Like, yes, there'd be a lot to clean, but there'd be nobody alive to pay me for it. Unless we were able to tell when it was going to go off and we got everybody evacuated first. Then maybe we could get paid. Depends on how good their homeowner's insurance is. Do you think the homeowner's insurance here covers volcanic disasters, considering they built their city by a volcano? Or is that kind of one of those things that's considered act of God and whatnot, where kind of on you for that one, buddy? I don't know, I'm kind of curious. If you live in a town or a city that is near a volcano, whether it is active or not, do you get any kind of compensation, either from your insurance or from the government, if it goes off and ruins and destroys your home? Okay. I think the rest of that's just going to be needing to get the top part. Alright. Go ahead and blast the front of you. Honestly, the green nozzle still isn't doing too bad for all of this. Kind of curious if the other one does any better if we do this. Oh, you're actually really powerful. Yeah, maybe I'll stick with this one for now. Let's see, blast it from the sides, get all the little nooks and crannies. Other side too. Okay. Get underneath that little light or whatever it is. Oh, it's a doorbell cover. Alright, good, good, good. You're all fine. Nothing is treated separately over here. Cool. Honestly, this is coming off pretty easily. It looks intimidating because it's a lot of dirt and grime and whatnot, but it's the kind that comes off easily. It's not like some, what I'm guessing are going to be later stages in the game again, where you kind of just have to eat away at layers and layers of dirt and muck. Okay, that part was pretty easy. Yeah, I imagine there's gonna be some layers later on that are like that, like in the first one where, or like, see this? This one's not coming off right away, so we're probably gonna have to hit that with a stronger nozzle, or get some soap on here for it. Let's see, let's first take away that. Yellow any better? Yeah, yellow's decent. There we go. We have no reflection. The truth has been revealed at last. The reason we take no fall damage is because we're a vampire. Knew it all along. Alright, go ahead and just get the last of this with the yellow nozzle, because honestly that has a pretty good consistent spray on that. Get the last little bit. There we go. Alright, pretty sure that's everything from the bottom level, so let's put you here. I heard one of my babies meowing. Was it you, Ulysses? Oh, did, what's the other one's name? Squeak? Because, yeah, I think it's Bubble and Squeak. Did Squeak show up somewhere? Hello, babies. There's Bubbles. I saw you earlier. Usually, in the last one, I knew it was when you heard that new meow was because the other cat showed up. Yeah. Can you even get me up here? Nope. What good are you then? Oh, good thing I've got this. I'll just go up an extra level. There we go. Whoop. And I'll just kind of make my way around section by section, do the bottom part first. Oh, got a new job available. Jefferson the 13th. How do, Dirt Finder? It's been a while. I have a big job for you. Giant, in fact. A billboard with the greatest announcement in the history of our county. Trying to remember. I want to say Jeff Jefferson was in the last game. I don't think he was the mayor, but I might be wrong. Because the mayor did have a really pretentious name like that. So it wouldn't be a surprise if that was him. But you know what? Joke's on you, buddy, if you are the mayor, because I got your cat now. Ulysses is mine. You did not take good care of him. You used him as a distraction from your public scandal. You are a terrible pet owner. I would say that I hope the cops come after you for it, but you're a political figure, so you're probably just going to buy your way out of trouble. Sad, but true facts of life. Okay. Yellow one's still not doing too bad here, so I think I'll just keep erasing it as I go. And honestly, this part's kind of fun. This feels kind of almost like a... how to put it? Oops. I accidentally hit the C key. Feels kind of like a big magic wand where we're just going to keep waving it and erasing away the grime and dirt, because this one actually does an okay job with the thicker grime. Almost reminds me of like a 3D printer or one of those laser engravers where it just kind of tackles it one row at a time as you go through. Only instead of creating things, we're destroying it. You know, eventually there's probably going to be, like, drones or something with power washers and a hose built into them, where they can just, like, go section by section, almost like Roombas. Because there are Roombas that and Robo Mops, Robo Vacuums / Robo Mops, where they can actually do both, and they kind of just go section by section. I'm thinking eventually we're going to have that, but with hoses and power washers to clean the outside of buildings. Which, I can already see some ways where that could be problematic, especially in the early days of development, when they're probably going to do stuff like not fully recognize when a window is open and accidentally flood somebody's office building, which honestly that'd be kind of funny to see at first. But I could see it over time turning into a viable way, especially for really, really large buildings or really old, dangerous, unstable ones where it's not going to be a good idea to have people go up there to clean them because it could be a risk. And I can already tell there's going to be the cries of, they're taking the jobs away. Which, yes. Unfortunately, that is the way of the job market, it is an ever-changing thing. Now, I'm not saying we're getting rid of them all, replacing them with robots and AI, but the way to do it, in my opinion, is you basically have to learn to use these things as tools. You have to learn to advance with the times and recognize when things are changing and adapt to it so you don't get left behind. One example that I think of a lot in regards to that is there's a movie called Hidden Figures, which is basically about the women of color who worked at NASA during the moon landing and the moon launch and all that, and during the early testing periods when they were figuring out the rockets and the computers, and how you basically mostly centered around these three women who were each working in different areas and were each really, really good, smart specialists in their respective fields. But it was hard for them to be recognized for their talents at first because of American stupid prejudices at the time. One of the women in there was the one who was in charge of the girls who were basically called the calculators. It was a team of women who were in charge of basically crunching the numbers and doing the calculations, because this was back before you had your little TI calculators and all that. Everything had to be done by hand. Everything had to be done manually. So there were entire teams of these women who would do it. And a lot of times it was seen as lower ranking work. So a lot of times that wouldn't be paying as much. Whoop, darn it, I fell off the roof. But yeah, it was seen as quote-unquote lower ranking work, pretty much like the grunt work sort of thing, and was given to these women and they're basically like, okay, here are the numbers, figure it out. And the woman who was in charge of that team, she found out that they were bringing in some of the first computers. And she realized what exactly these computers were going to be used for. And that was going to be to process data and numbers and take away the jobs from her and her team. So she she found a manual for how to use the computer, and she got as many copies of it as she was able to get her hands on, which wasn't a lot. So a lot of the women in her team still had to share it. But she basically told them, all right, there is a machine that can run these calculations faster than any of you can. So I need all of you to start memorizing this, learn how it works. Whoop. So that way, when these big shot jerks start trying to say that we're replaceable now, darn it, I'm just trying to get that one little spot on the edge. Let me get the edge. Let me get it. Good enough. Yeah, basically just like be ready for it so that when they try to replace us later, we'll still be valuable because we'll know how to do this while they're still scrambling to figure it out. And it worked. Because on one of the first days when the big egghead nerdy guys got the computer up and running, they had no idea what to do with it. They had no idea how it worked because they were just thinking, oh, this is going to do our job for us and it's going to make our lives so much easier. And we're so cool and smart for getting it set up that they really didn't know what the heck they were doing with it. So they got it running and they couldn't get it to work. And she comes in while they're stuck trying to figure it out. And after they leave, she goes in, she presses a few buttons, and she gets it to work. And when they get back and see her there, they're like, what did you just do? You can't be touching that. And then they find out, oh crud, she knows how to work this. And so later when they need that computer up and running to calculate the landing coordinates for the very first first attempted landing from their test pod, she gets called in, and she tells the woman who's the supervisor over her, who was a white lady who didn't like to admit that she was racist, but my god, she was insufferable. And I liked seeing her get put in her place, honestly. But yeah, she comes in and is like, hey, the guys down in the computer lab want you to come. And she tells her to her face, I'm only coming if my girls can come with me. Because she was not leaving anyone in her team behind. And she said it's going to take all of us to work that computer. And if you don't have a team of men or a team of people who can do that, that is a freaking bug. Huh. Interesting wall piece. Yeah, she basically told her that, hey, you don't have a team of people who can run that, and I will need all of them with me to be able to do it efficiently. And reluctantly, her supervisor agreed to it. And they all just grabbed their stuff, packed up, and went into that computer room and showed those boys who's boss. I like that movie. I've seen it maybe like 2-3 times, and I still really enjoy it. Just because I've talked before about how you have somebody has to be the first one to take those steps, and also we succeed and we get through prejudice and things like that by working together. And all those stories are great examples of it, because the women throughout that movie, every team, every main character, they made themselves. They got themselves to where they were, basically, is what I'm trying to say. They worked hard. They put in the effort. But it was also interesting to see how they had support. Even when they didn't expect it, they would find support in the most unlikely places. There would be people who, yes, were still looking down on them for their color and thinking, oh, there's no way they can do this. But they also still had others who believed in them and spoke up for them. And that also is part of what helped a couple of them get a foot in the door and give them the push to keep going forward when they had a lot of opposition. So, yes, be the trailblazer, and also if you're in a position, be the support to help others. We don't get better if we keep putting other people down. And that's, honestly, that leads to stagnation and no new ideas. No new innovations, nothing. It all just remains as it is. And I know there's a lot of people, especially in certain groups, that would prefer for that to be a thing. They want everything to stay in their own little bubble. But they also don't want to acknowledge how much people from outside of that bubble contribute to their way of life. So they kind of need to get over themselves, honestly. But, yeah. Sorry, you all know me. I ramble. I go off on my tangents. And I really just use games like this, or Supermarket Simulator, I guess really simulators in general, to be my little stream of consciousness sort of rants. Whoop. And I fell off again. This is the tricky part of the game, is you get to a certain point where you kind of keep falling off. And you can't go too far. Let's see, let's get rid of that. Just get right up on there and do it. Because if I keep trying to use the distance one, I'm just going to fall off again. And that's just going to waste time. But yeah, like I said, I use games like these as a big stream of consciousness sort of thing to just ramble about whatever comes to mind. And I don't know. I just find that relaxing, honestly. I hope you guys don't mind my weird tangents and honestly the ADHD. Darn it! I'm falling off the freaking ladder. I mean, off the freaking roof. Blah. I was gonna say, I hope you guys don't mind my silly rambles and rants and tangents and whatnot. Some of which I don't even finish because the ADHD coding goes hard some days. And I just brain hop from one subject to another. I mean, we're freaking going from talking about old Stephen King TV shows to African American women of color working at NASA and making innovations and all that. I just have a lot of things that I learn about, that I study, because I find these things interesting. Oh, there's another thing. It's okay, peeps. Data suggests that all is well on Mount Rushless. No seismic activity whatsoever. There's still a little plume of something up there. I'm worried. Oh, thanks, son. Thanks, son. Good to know we don't be late tonight. Entours is round. We've got meatloaf. I do like meatloaf. Actually, I don't know, how do you guys feel about meatloaf? I know, like, for some people it's a love it or hate it thing. People think it's kind of basic. I think it's good comfort food, so I don't mind it occasionally. The only time I haven't liked it before is a couple of times when my dad's made it in the past, because he puts steak sauce in it, which is inherently a bad thing. It does kind of cover a lot of your basic spices with the steak sauce. But if you use too much of it, then it kind of overpowers everything else in the meatloaf until that's the main thing you could taste. When I feel like when most people get meatloaf, the more common thing that they want to taste is more of a, aside from the meat, of course, is kind of ketchup is the most acceptable one. Like, a lot of people will even do a ketchup glaze and let the meatloaf cook with that on top. Which I don't mind it that way, but I also just like ketchup to put on it or top it with after it comes out, too. Either way is fine with me, but a little bit extra ketchup never hurts. I like ketchup a lot as one of my go-to condiments. I'm not the type of person who's gonna be like, put that on everything. Everything's better with a little bit of ketchup. Nah. I'm Southern, but I ain't that kind of Southern. But it's definitely one of the sauces that I reach for certain things. I like it on... I actually prefer it to tartar sauce if I'm having fried fish, because I don't really like mayonnaise that much. Like, I can handle certain sauces that are made with mayonnaise. Tartar sauce is not one of them. Like, I don't mind a good aioli or a herbed garlic mayo if it's on a sandwich. But I'm not a mayonnaise person. My dad swears up and down that something must have been wrong. Darn it! Keep falling off the frickin' roof. There. So I'm way back up. Yeah, my dad swears up and down something must have gone wrong in my creation for me to not like mayonnaise. Because he freaking loves it. My mom prefers Miracle Whip. And I can kind of understand the Miracle Whip a little bit better, I think. But it's a very different flavor profile than mayonnaise. She often would make jokes about one of these days she was gonna swap my dad's mayonnaise for Miracle Whip, and he always said that would be the day that they got a divorce, because, haha, older generation, divorce jokes are funny, but, nah. It's just one of those differences in taste. There's some things that I don't mind with mayonnaise mixed into them, like, I really like deviled eggs. Especially the way my mom taught me how to make them, where you basically, it's mayonnaise, mustard, just a little bit of mustard to add some tanginess to it, a little bit of flavor diversity in the profile, you know. But let's try to see if I can get the top of this little guy. That's a little bit better. And yeah, I'm probably gonna like douse some of this from the top too. I just want to get as much of it as I could from down here. But yeah, it's mayonnaise, mustard, some seasonings, and then the secret ingredient she does that I really haven't seen too many other people do is she adds just a little bit of sweet relish to the mix. And normally I don't like relish that much. Like, I'll eat dill relish once in a while, and I don't even really like sweet pickles all that much. But in the deviled eggs that she makes, I like it because it's just sweet enough that it adds another layer to the flavors without being too distracting like it normally is for me on its own. And then it adds a little bit of crunch to the otherwise really, really soft deviled eggs. Which, I mean, hey, no problem with if you just like the deviled eggs with the softness as it is. I just like the little bit of extra texture. I find it really nice to have it there. My partner thinks I'm weird for that, so I don't think he'd ever like the deviled eggs that I make. But maybe one day I'll get him to try them just to see. But yeah, and then we top it with just a little bit of smoked paprika for that nice little extra dose of flavor at the end. And like I said before, I actually don't mind things like garlic aiolis or herbed mayos, things like that, on a sandwich or a burger. Especially like my favorite type of burger is a mushroom and Swiss burger, which a lot of times will have a garlic aioli of some kind on it or an herbed mayo in some way. And I don't mind that. It actually is really, really good. But it's just one of those things with the mayo where if I can taste too much of it, then I'm not a fan. I don't mind it if it's a vessel for other flavors, if that makes sense. kind of like onions is another food that I'm a little bit weird about. I like the taste of onions, but I don't like the texture of it in certain things. Particularly, I don't like it when I'm eating something that's really, really soft. And then you suddenly get just a crunchy bite of onion. That's one of the ways I don't like texture, because I think it's the intensity of the flavor of the onion combined with the sudden abrupt change in texture. For instance, fried rice. Fried rice and burgers and sandwiches, I hate getting onions in that, because it'll be, oh, soft, chew, then suddenly crunch. Just a horrible crunch with a burst of oniony intensity. And I am not a fan. That kind of ruins the experience for me. But what do you guys think? Do you have any particular... Whoops, darn it. Any weird food opinions or anything? Anything that you have that you like that other people in your family or in your life may not be on the same page with? Like, my partner doesn't really... He kind of understands the onion thing, that for me, he doesn't really feel the same way about it, but he understands it, so he doesn't make fun of me for it. And I'm kind of the same way with him in regards to mushrooms, because I actually really, really like mushrooms, but he does not like mushrooms at all. Or with my sister, I think I mentioned it before when talking about ice cream. I don't like whipped cream if it's store-bought, like the cheap stuff out of a can or out of a container of Cool Whip or something. I can't stand that. I find it very bland and gross. And to me, it's like it kills darn it. It kills the flavor and the texture. And honestly, even sometimes kills the temperature of whatever you're having it with. So I just can't stand it. But I'm okay with fresh whipped cream. But because of that, my sister and I have this agreement that whenever we get ice cream or milkshakes or anything like that together, I'll give her my whipped cream, and she does not like maraschino cherries, so she'll give me the cherries off of her ice cream. And that's just kind of our standing agreement. Similar agreement with our cousin on my dad's side when she was younger and my family used to watch her. It was an agreement of basically she didn't like broccoli when she was younger, and like I said before, I didn't like onions. I also don't like bean sprouts for that similar reason when it comes to fried rice. It's a similar texture element for me. But my cousin liked it, and so we would swap off, where she basically would give me... She'd give me the broccoli out of whatever dish she was having, and I would give her the onions and bean sprouts out of mine. And it was a good, fair exchange. And also, fun fact, my dislike of onions is the reason why for years I did not eat at McDonald's, or at least I didn't get the burgers from McDonald's. Actually, it was so bad that I used to just order my cheeseburgers plain with nothing but cheese. Yes, it was very boring and bland. But I hated onions so... I was saying I hated onions so much, and for a while that was the only place my mom would get burgers from was McDonald's. And if you ever had a McDonald's burger, you know that they've got those ridiculously tiny, tiny onions that even if you order your sandwich without the onions, they will find their way. I swear, I used to call them pickle seed onions because of how tiny they were. It was like you were eating a pickle seed sized onion. But no matter what you did, you could not avoid them. The onions would always find their way into the burger. And I hated that so much that for a long time I just ordered my cheeseburgers completely plain with nothing. And then I would add ketchup and mustard myself. It wasn't even until I one time went to a Burger King with my grandmother and my best friend, and I was really tired after a long day, and I just forgot to order it plain like I normally would. And I was like, oh no, this is gonna be awful. But if you order a burger, like a Burger King cheeseburger plain, then it really is. Or you don't order anything off of it. Just a regular cheeseburger, not a Whopper, by the way, just a regular cheeseburger, is basically just cheese, ketchup, mustard, and pickles. And when I had that, I was like, oh, this is actually way better. I like because pickles I actually don't mind the crunch of, probably because I actually really like the taste of dill pickles, and especially kosher dill pickles, I like those a lot. But, yeah. So that's why I figured out, oh, it's just McDonald's that F's up their burgers that badly. So if I go to McDonald's, I'll still get I won't get their burgers. I'll still get I'll get chicken nuggets a lot of times if I'm going with somebody. Or back when they did the all-day breakfast, I would order one of the breakfast items, because I do like the McDonald's breakfast. But yeah, I basically have just figured out that it wasn't the flavor of a burger that I hated, or all the toppings of the burger that I hated. It was literally just the onions ruining it for me completely. And that had given me such distrust of all burgers that I robbed myself of several years of enjoying them like a normal frickin' person. Now that being said, eat your food however you want it. My sister actually, she's gotten more diverse with her taste over the years, but her favorite way to eat burgers is plain with nothing but pickles. And yes, for anybody who hasn't heard me talk about her before, she's the autism coding, I'm the ADHD coding. By our powers combined, we are a barely functional being. But oh wow, there's actually like leaves and mold and stuff up here. That's gross. But yeah, her favorite way to eat a burger is plain with just pickles. Extra pickles as she can get it. And then she actually she doesn't like the buns. So a lot of times she'll eat it without the bun. And yeah, that's just the way she eats them. It's different, but I mean, it's what makes her happy. And she has expanded her taste quite a bit. She's gotten better, about trying new things over the years, and I am proud of her for that. For instance, we'll go to Red Robin occasionally when we both have a day off. And she likes I think it's the teriyaki bonsai burger is what it's called. It's a burger with pineapple and teriyaki sauce. And she actually really likes that one. She'll even eat it with the bun. She's still not a big sandwiches person, though. She also doesn't really like salads. I think it's because it's a lot of textures and flavors all together at once, so it can be a little bit much for her. Whenever our family would have salads with dinner, she would do what we call the vegetable bowl, which I guess some people call a crudité, where it's basically just plain vegetables. not even really chopped up that much, just regular plain old bowl of vegetables. So she would still be getting the same things the rest of us had in our salads, minus the dressing, of course. She just prefers everything separate and not chopped up super fine and mixed together. Which, I mean, hey, that's how she likes it, so that's fine. So that's fine. It's not one of those things where it's impeding her ability to get nutrition or eat what she needs to for sustenance. That is one thing that my parents have worried about before, was, you know, making sure my sister and I were programmed with the ability to be open to trying new things, but they also wouldn't ridicule us or anything if we just had a certain way that we liked our food. Their general rule was, try something once, and if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it again for now. Oh, got Harper on here again. Wishy, I just heard from Sonia. The bean's gone because someone's stolen the merman's gems. Oh, that's one of the things that we had to clean in the last game that was powering the beam. Oh boy. So oh, I think I can already predict where this is gonna go. How much y'all want to bet that this guy who just messaged us about, oh, big news, the biggest thing to happen in this county and all that, it's gonna be like some sort of exhibit for the gems, and it's gonna turn into a whole thing of like the gems it's gonna be a big political thing of the gems need to be taken back so that, you know, people don't frickin' die. Novel concept, politicians, I know, but people don't want to die. I know, some of them might find this very shocking. People have lives that they actually see value in. Yeah, that whole window was good. I couldn't remember if it got all of it or not. Just trying to get the front part here so I don't fall off. I'll also go ahead and get this while I'm at this angle too. There we go. Get the last little bit over here on the edge. Whoop, almost fell off. I say that, I'm doing this so I don't fall off, and then almost immediately fall off. Okay, that side's good, that side's all good. Get you cleaned up too. And I'll also go ahead and get this last little edge while I'm over here too. I'll come back up here and get the rest of this in a second. I'm mostly just trying to get the edges here before I drop down and get some of the stuff on this side. Whoop. Okay, that's one wall down. We're kind of getting into the home stretch here. Can't wait to... Whoop. Well, I had to come back down at some point anyway. Whoop. I have run into an issue. I am small. Whoop. Nope. Alright, back up the scaffolding we go. Hup, 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 hup. And... Hurrah! Aha! I have conquered you. Cause yeah, darn it! I need to stop talking so big. Hold up. Yes! Magical levitation powers! Oh. Levitation powers, you're supposed to put the ladder there. Yeah, I really can't tell you how we're able to pick these things up and pretty much move them with our mind. My earlier statement about us being a vampire, though, I think still holds a lot of weight. We have not disproven this theory. Counter-argument, though, we are out underneath the sun. Jury is still out, though. Some vampires are able to handle sunlight, but they just are weakened and cannot access their full powers. So it could still be a plausible reason. Go ahead and get the top of the table while I'm over here. I'll get the rest of this better in a moment. Some stuff is just easier to hit when you're higher up. Go ahead and hit the back of the chairs too. Just a little bit at least. Alright, go ahead and get the rest of that beam there. Oh, darn it. Do not fall off again. I don't want to have to keep going around to get the frickin' ladders. And go ahead and... There we go. That gives me a little bit more oomph, a little bit more power. And... There. The rest of the trim, I think, is just going to be the undersides that we need to get. Come on. Sorry, I kind of trailed off a little bit because we've gotten so close to finishing this. And I just really want to get this house done. There we go, got the balcony trim. Now for the inner parts of the walls. But I think maybe this would be a good... Maybe this is going to end up being a good spot to use the soap again. Of course, then again, the yellow is still cutting through it pretty decently. Maybe I'll save that for if I got some spots that just are refusing to come out. Yeah, stuck on the chair. Whoop, there we go. Alright, come on. Last of the grime. So close, come on. There. Got the wall. Okay. Getting into the last little bit. I think we've got... Whoa. Why is the window flashing? I'm dealing with enough sci-fi, supernatural, haunted BS. I don't need the windows to suddenly be possessed. Yeah, this is definitely one where I need the soap nozzle. And actually, I'll be right back while that's filling up. I need to take care of something real quick. So, be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to take care of adjusting a couple things real quick. But yeah, I was starting to say before that I think I need to get the soap nozzle out for this because this window is pretty caked with grime. And honestly, while I got the soap out, I might hit a couple of other spots around here just to get everything done. Okay. Get you. Go ahead and blast the telescope while we're at it. And get some of the floor. Why? Because why not? Okay, other side. Back of the chairs. And just a quick little spritz across the rest of it. Yeah, get up. Alright, we got through most of it at least. And then we can swap over to the green nozzle and just take out the rest of this. Oh yeah, that came off so much easier. I will absolutely take that. Whoop. Blasted that bit. Hit the wall. I freaking love this soap. This is just one of those things where it feels like they took the criticisms they got, any criticisms they got from the first game, and then just owned it and improved on it. And that is a sign of a good game developer. You kind of can't live in the bubble of, my game is perfect, and anybody who says otherwise is just really bad at the game. I can't stand people who are like that, really, for any type of media creation. If somebody's giving you criticism, you take it, you learn from it, you own it. Even with me, I'm not afraid to admit when I've made mistakes or change things based on the feedback that I get. That's why I have the video on my channel where I got you guys to help me pick out my new voice. Because the feedback I get does matter to me, and I do appreciate every little bit that I'm able to get from you guys. It helps me get better. And I'll admit, I'm doing this because it's something that I've always wanted to do. Because I like games, I like being able to talk to people, I like sharing the weird little rambles that come out of my mouth when I get lost in my thoughts. So yeah, I do this mostly for me, and if other people can get some enjoyment out of it, then cool. But that's all I could ever really want. If I get any monetization or anything from these videos, cool. But I'm not really banking on it. I still have my regular job at the arcade and everything. So that's enough for me to live off of. Not anything crazy. I'm not rolling in dough or anything. If anything, I struggle with my bills sometimes. But I make enough to get by, and that's enough for me. Other than that, I'm just here to play games, tell stories, and overall have a good time. Was that Theodolite? Huh. Interesting. Darn it, where's one of the ladders? I summon thee! There we go. Just I don't have to run back down and grab it all over again. And, oops, wrong one. Meant to do that. Because honestly, I feel like the yellow nozzle was cutting through this stuff pretty well. It was more the stuff on the glass that had some issues. So we'll go back to that. Just go back to our little 3D printer style method of just wash it away strip by strip by strip. Get some of this up here while we're at it. And for me, this is always the satisfying part, is just cutting through all of the grime and watching it disappear one line at a time. I know there's people who have their different methods. I've seen people who actually walk the grid system way across. Which, I mean, hey, if you have your own method that works, then good for you. It's a game. Everybody's gonna enjoy it differently, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. As long as you have fun and you get to the end, even if you don't get to the end, if you're just having fun, then congratulations. You have played the game correctly. I can't stand people who try to police how other people have fun. Like, honestly, I've been in so many fandoms over the years. Not always as a big-time contributor to them, but just a lot of times as somebody who follows people and enjoys the content that's made. I try not to get involved in the fandom drama because it can be so toxic and draining at times. So I just curate my own personal experience out of it. But I have seen so many people who, especially nowadays, will try so hard to police how others have fun enjoying a game or a show or whatever. And they're just like, no, you can't enjoy this show unless you like this ship. If you like this other ship, or if you don't do the shipping at all, then you're doing it incorrectly, and you need to leave the fandom, and also you should go and die, and things like that. And I'm like, dude, this is supposed to be something you do for fun. This is supposed to be something that you consume because it brings you joy. Why does telling other people these things, why does that bring you joy? Are you happy living your life that way, where you just bring misery upon others? Or like the people who feel the need to comment on art videos and animatics that people have put a lot of time and effort into, and I guarantee you a good majority of the people who are making these comments couldn't draw a freaking paper bag to save their life. But like, they go onto these videos, they're like, oh, this is so lame, I thought a 12-year-old made this. Like, dude, you have no right to talk unless you are even if you are a professional artist, honestly, you have no right to talk down to people like that. Because that is how you kill people's passion. That is how you make people give up on things that they enjoy and that bring them happiness, is by putting them down for no reason other than just you want to be a jerk. And I will never understand that mentality. Now, if somebody is mean to me or one of my friends, I will absolutely go for the lowest psychological blow I possibly can. I will find what you are most insecure about, and I will just take you apart with it. Because I am a vindictive person. I am not the kind to show mercy if you have hurt somebody I care about, especially if it's me, then it depends on what you did. If it's my sister, my partner, if it's somebody in my family that I care about, or one of my close friends or something, then yeah, gloves come off. I'm going to pick you apart and find the thing that you will absolutely cry and sob over for years to come, and I will make that the focal point of my attack. But hopefully I never have to use it on anybody here, because we just finished. That was definitely a long one. But it's very satisfying. And I didn't notice the windows were that green. I don't know if they're that green or if it's just like the mirrors catching it. Excellent job, Sprucey. I can see why Harper recommended you. Spotless house, hum reduced to 0. Now all I need is find out what Karen's up to. Yeah, you probably should do that. Good luck finding your partner. Hello, babies. I finished another job. Did you have fun helping me with my work? I bet you did. Alright, before I end the video, though, I want to do a little bit more shopping. Because... let's see, where was it? Boots. Oh, wait, I did get the boots. I thought I didn't. I thought there was one thing that I wasn't able to get in the color that I wanted. Mask, overall, gloves, boots. Okay. Let's see. Washers. This is where we can start getting some upgrades to stuff. Don't really have any extra cosmetics we can get yet, though. Any good furniture? Gloves. We can get our van to match at least. That's nice. I was really hoping there would be more stuff we could buy. I kind of wanted to check it out, though. Let's see. We already have this one, so we could start getting some of the extensions. And we also have our upgrades we could start working towards. The tricky part, though, is that when you get one, you don't get all of the attachments automatically. So maybe I'll wait on that for a little bit, save up until I've got... Let's see, I need 1,000, 13, 14, 15, 17. Yeah, probably wait until I've got, I'd say at least 3,000 plus before I start doing that. But we do have a little bit of extra money because this uses the PowerWash points. So we could go ahead and get some extra furniture real quick. That is really expensive. 2,000 just for that by itself. Oh, jump. Gotta clean them first. Let me see how bad they're gonna be. Let's check that. Honestly, not too bad, all things considered. Might just give these a quick spritz and set them out in our base before I end the video. So I want to get at least one thing besides the building done today. That one took a little bit longer than I expected it to. Let's see. It's a nice lamp, though. I like the look of it. There we go. Alright, go ahead and let's see. Maybe like back around here. Yeah, there we go. And then another one. Let's get that coffee table. Oh, this is one we definitely need soap for. There's like paint and handprints all over it. Interesting. Why is my soap not filling? Hello? Soap? Oh, I have unlimited soap while I'm here. That's good to know. That's actually very useful information to have. Okay, so I can just blast all the paint and gunk and grime off of this. Alright. Alright, and then let's go green nozzle. I don't need the long one. Wow, that is a completely different color with all that stuff gone. Alright, get the bottom, all the legs. That already looks so much better than it did before. There we go. And pick that up. Let's see. I think like over here next to the couch is good. Come on. Why can't I not place you? Really? I can't put you over here next to it? Disappointment. Where I can place this stuff is weird sometimes. Alright. Let's see what else we got. We got another rug. This one's not as bad. Oops, wrong button. Come on. There we go. Give this a quick spritz first. Hey, look, I actually am doing those ASMR rug washing videos that I talked about before. Only difference is that I haven't completely destroyed this rug with layers and layers of caked on slime and mud and leaves and all that. Though there are definitely leaves I can see on here. Alright. Okay, that one's not too bad. A few little spots here and there still. What do I have left? Little spot here. Here. There we go. Can I take it upstairs? Or actually, I don't know. I kind of feel like I like this better over here. Right there. Nope. There. There. Why are you so specific with where I can put my stuff? It's supposed to be my area. Why can I not? Maybe like it's from here? Have like a area rug. Ugh. I don't understand this thing sometimes. It's so particular with where I can put everything. Like, I can't put that under anything. That just makes it ugly. It just makes it stick out. Bleh. Well, a little bit of a disappointing way to end it, but we have some more furniture at least, so I will count that as a tiny-ish win. Next time we'll probably check out some of those other spots, like the car and the billboard and everything that they were talking about. But, till then, thank you guys so much for watching, and the kitties and I will see you next time. Bye-bye! Aw, you came over already? Don't worry, there's always more fun to be had later. If you enjoyed your stay, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for visiting Arya's Arcade. Bye-bye!